You're listening to the Global Heroes podcast, The Deep Dive. We explore the stories behind the headlines of our uplifting news features. Don't forget to follow us on social and subscribe to our free newsletter for your regular boost of positivity.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. Today we're unpacking some really fascinating sources about the power of sport in British Columbia. You might just think, physical activity.
Right.
But we're going to dive into how it's actually this profound force for positive change right across the province. Okay, let's unpack this.
That's exactly right. And what's truly insightful here, I think, is how deep sport runs in BC's social fabric. It's not just about the scoreboard. Our sources really show it as a vital tool, uniting communities, fostering well-being, and like any good team, the message is clear.
Yeah.
Each of us really has a role to play in that bigger picture.
So who's sort of steering this ship? Well, that seems to be viaSport. They're a not-for-profit set up back in 2011.
Right, with government support.
Yeah, exactly. And their mission basically is leading amateur sport development, making sure every British Columbian gets, safe, inclusive, welcoming sport experiences.
And it's fascinating how they frame it, how viaSport uses sport as they call it a force for good.
A force for good. I like that.
Yeah. It goes beyond just, having fun. Sport's got this unique power to genuinely bring people together. And, importantly, to actively support reconciliation with Indigenous communities.
That's key.
Absolutely. And advancing diversity, inclusion. It really builds up sort of national pride and that deep community connection.
And you see the effects spreading out, don't you? Like volunteers, participants. They gain so much from the teamwork aspect, the social side of things.
Definitely.
But it's even broader. Our sources really stress its contribution to a diversified economy, which makes sense when you think about it.
Jobs,
right?
Yeah.
Boosting local businesses, bringing in tourism for events. It all fosters this real sense of community pride.
which naturally leads to the question, how do they make sure these benefits actually reach everyone?
Good point.
Well, viaSport seems to tackle this head-on by actively removing barriers, making sport genuinely accessible for all ages, backgrounds, abilities.
So really lowering the hurdles to get involved.
Exactly. With a real focus on those maybe from marginalized communities, it's about making sure sport is this powerful tool for, healthier living, learning throughout life, building communities, and, still having a lot of fun. But how do they actually do it? How do they strengthen the whole sports community in BC? It sounds complex.
It involves a lot of collaboration. They work really closely with a huge network, over 70 different organizations.
Wow.
Yeah, provincial sport bodies, like for soccer or swimming.
Yeah.
Then disability sport organizations, multi-sport groups that cover different activities and regions. It's a big ecosystem.
So how do they manage that? Keep standards high?
Well, a really key mechanism is their designation program. Think of it like a quality standard. They work with these partner organizations, giving them guidance, resources, making sure they meet certain benchmarks.
Benchmarks for what, exactly?
For things like participation levels, coaching quality, officiating standards, pathways for excellence, and just good governance, how they run things.
Okay.
And it's not just about setting rules. It includes practical support, like sport development help, and crucially, coach education. Training and mentoring coaches at all levels.
And safety must be a big part of that, too.
Absolutely critical. They have initiatives like PlaySafeBC.ca. That's not just a website, it's a whole platform. It offers training for coaches on safe sport practices, clear ways for people to report concerns if they have them, making sure everyone feels respected and protected.
Right. So let's talk tangible results. What does all this foundational work actually achieve? Any numbers?
Yeah, the numbers are pretty impressive, actually. Since 2013, viaSport has helped train over 21,000 coaches.
21,000. That's huge.
It is, and they've got more than 100 partner organizations actively engaged in moving sport forward together. And maybe the biggest number they've secured, around $152 million in annual funding.
Wow.
Yeah, and that money gets distributed out to those designated sport organizations to, power their programs and initiatives.
That's a serious investment.
It really shows commitment. And if you pull back and look at the whole picture, viaSport's work really demonstrates how deep inclusion, strong collaboration, and real economic and social benefits are all linked. They weave together to build a stronger community overall.
So, for you listening, what does this all boil down to? Whether you're an athlete yourself, maybe a coach, a parent on the sidelines, or just someone who loves watching sport, there really is a place for you in BC's sports community. And viaSport is actively working to help make that connection. It's a good reminder, isn't it, that the real power of sport goes way beyond just the final score. It's about the lives it touches, the connections it builds.
Absolutely. So maybe just take a moment to think, what role could you play, big or small? How could you help foster that connection, that well-being in your own community using the spirit of sport? Something to consider.
That's it for today's deep dive. Want more? Catch It's a Beautiful World on Prime Video and stay connected with global heroes through our newsletter and socials.